On our way, honestly, this place is kind of spooking me out a little bit. I hit a deer. Road trips. Arguably the hallmark of an American summer. Nothing brings people together like miles and miles of open road and beautiful scenery. Some people believe this so much they make it their lives, living out of their vehicles and traveling full time, chasing that feeling of being in a new place and the excitement of unknown adventures. At the heart of it all is the vehicle, the foundation of the life of a modern nomad. Some people choose buses, some vans. I chose this. So I am sitting in my 1999 Honda Civic and my new home for 3 months because I hate myself. My plan is to take this car all the way from Maine to California, the full experience across the country road trip. Will this car make it though? I don't really know. Is this the dumbest thing I've ever done? Probably. No, it definitely is. It took a lot of work to get this car where it currently is and in the condition that I feel comfortable enough driving it across the country. To give you guys an idea of how bad this car was prior to me working on it, the floor was just rusted out, just gone. Like I could see the road when I was driving. Not a single shop would touch it. Nobody wanted to fix the rust issue, and I actually ended up having to go buy a welder and weld in the floor myself. Could have just got a van. It's called van life. It's called van life for a reason. I actually kind of like the idea of using a sedan. I feel like it's so incognito. I could park anywhere. I could park in the middle of a city and nobody would suspect that anybody's living in a car because it's irrational and people don't do that. To start off our journey, we have to make it to Maine. I'm currently in Pennsylvania, and so tonight we're going to drive halfway to Maine, sleep somewhere, and then take the other half of the trip in the morning until we get to Maine. But before we start our trip, let me show you guys what we're working with. Alright, so I'm going to start by showing you guys the cockpit. So this is what we got here. Garmin GPS. Just in case I'm in a place where either my Wi-Fi isn't working or I can't find Wi-Fi anywhere to be able to use Google Maps or Apple Maps. That's what the GPS is for. Just to make sure I can get where I need to get to and I'm not lost in the middle of the desert. From there, if we go up to the ceiling, we do have a Wi-Fi box. It's a 5G hotspot router box. From T-Mobile. Shout out to my dad, he's the one that actually got that for me. I was planning on just getting everywhere just strictly off of GPS. But he was saying, you know, having two forms of ways to just get around is not a bad idea. And I kind of agree with him on that. Right here, we just have a light because at night it tends to get really dark. Too dark. Now, I'm not afraid of the dark or anything like that. But we have a light, just in case. You know, you need to be able to see when you're just doing stuff around. And then right behind the light, we have this. You can't really see the full thing, but it is a solar panel for the thing I'm gonna show you guys next. So we're gonna go past the table real quick and go down here. So you can't really see it, it's kind of tucked away. But right here is a 1,500 watt power box, or power bank, or whatever you want to call it, from All Powers. It can charge 10 things at once. And I tend to use a lot of items and be charging a lot of items on the go. So that's a great thing to have. And I have a regular standard wall outlet plug for that to charge it. But I also have the solar panel just in case if I end up in a situation where I'm out and about in a really rural area, you know, the sticks, the goonies, and I don't have an outlet to plug it into, I do have the solar panel to be able to charge it, which is awesome. Right here we have a couple of bags. So this one is my hiking bag, and right under it we have my clothing bag. It has all of my t-shirts and whatnot in it. Right here we have a cooler. This thing does not keep ice cold for as long as I would have liked it to. But it's good to have. I've noticed, especially on the hotter days, just getting ice real quick. I know the ice is gonna melt within 2 days, but just having the cool drinks for the hot days is nice. regardless of the fact that the ice doesn't really last all that long. On top of that, and also right here as well, we have the window cards. So at night when I'm sleeping, the windows are completely blacked out. No one can see inside the vehicle, and I got it for all around. So there's one of them right here. The rest are kind of tucked up here. I do have a guitar with me. I've been practicing guitar, and I know that's not really an essential thing to have, but it's just something I want to continue to do, especially because I'm going to be on the road for 3 months. I want to have, things that I can kind of keep myself occupied. And that's definitely going to do that for me. I have no idea how to play it right now, pretty much. Down here, we have a food box. It's a crate full of non-perishable food items. This right here is it's kind of like a mini oven stove type of thing where I can open it up. I can put soups or different things inside of there. I can plug that into my power box, and within an hour, whatever is in there will have heated up enough to eat. This right here is my table/bed. It's right under the window line, so on those hotter days, if I crack the window a little bit, the air is coming right at me, which is really nice. This square right here comes out, that way I can still use the back seat and use this section as an actual table, which is nice. And this I'll just kind of stick up into the roof where the solar panel is. And right under this square is my sleeping mat, as well as more window cards, my sleeping mat, and then under the sleeping mat is a blanket. And that right there is the sleeping setup. I do have a drawer here. This became, how everyone in their house has that one drawer just full of randomness that just didn't fit anywhere else. That's this drawer. So we do have that, and then right here we have everything I need to kind of get ready in the morning. That is everything that is inside the car. Let me show you guys the trunk real quick. Right here we have an unfoldable table. Alright, so now that you guys have seen the car, let's get to Maine. I was in the middle of a late lunch when I made a disturbing realization. So we have already run into our first problem. I just realized I do not know where my Easy Pass is. I kept track of everything. I got bags for everything, but somehow I completely forgot to keep my Easy Pass somewhere in the window vicinity. So we're going to have to take the no-toll route to Maine, which just adds another 2 hours. It's a 9-hour drive instead of a 6-hour drive, so it's not too bad. And there'll be a lot more scenery. A lot more scenery. There is something so surreal about this. After spending such a long time building this car and now finally actually out on the road, going on the first trip, I can see why people love this. I can see why people live out of their vehicles. Will I enjoy living out of something this small? That is the real question, and that's something I'm definitely looking forward to finding out. I was getting more and more excited by the mile. However, the back roads, as gorgeous as they are in the daytime, are quite ominous at night. And the darker it got, the more wildlife I saw, and soon I had bigger problems than a missing Easy Pass. So I'm a little shaken up at the moment. I got my hazards on, and I'm driving extremely slow now, 28 miles an hour, because I hit a deer. Came out of nowhere, this thing. Just driving down, all of a sudden this thing just jumps right in front of me. And luckily, I swerved out of the way just in time. I clipped its hind legs, and almost lost control of the car. I almost went into the bushes. But luckily, I was able to keep it on the road. But I'm not risking that again. I am staying at under the speed limit. Because that was scary. That was a scary moment. That I could have died. I probably would have died if I hit it head on at the speed I was going, which was the speed limit. I just want to make that clear. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and continue on. I'm about 2 hours into this journey. I want to hit 4 before I stop. But as soon as I stop, we're going to take a look at the front end of the car, and hopefully there's not too much damage. So I've stopped at this church. I was gonna wait a little bit because I see a van over there that the trunk is open. Thinking that I might be able to ask somebody here if they don't mind if I park up for the night. But honestly, this place is kind of spooking me out a little bit, so we're going to continue on. We're gonna continue on. I don't think that was the spot for tonight. I'm hoping that that this GPS, that this path gets a little bit less rural. The one good thing about the deer is that they are making me very anxious and it's keeping me up. Where the second ago I was a little tired. So they are, people are passing me right now because I am driving very slow. I don't understand how they can drive this fast, you know? They're speeding, bro. Oh my goodness. Listen, man, better safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. That will not be me. Not tonight. As the adrenaline wore down, my eyes started to get heavy. And after spotting 5 more deer waiting at the street's edge, I figured best to call it quits for the night. There was a good chance I'd have a cop knocking on my window where I decided to sleep, but the next best spot to stop was about 50 more miles of deer-infested forest. I hopped out of the car and reluctantly looked over the front end, expecting to see a dent the size of Texas. To my surprise, no damage. Honestly, man, we got really lucky. Day 1 of our trip to Maine has been very eventful. Not in a good way. Honestly, though, praise God. I'm alive. The car is still in running condition, and honestly, cosmetically, there's no problems with it either. All things considered, it's been a pretty good day. You know, I left earlier today on such a crazy high, just super excited for life. And after how today went, you know, I definitely feel a bit drained. And I'm missing my family and friends right now. I'm not gonna lie. I knew it was gonna kick in, but I thought it'd be a lot later on in the trip. But yeah, it's happened pretty fast, almost immediate. But we're gonna keep on trekking on, and hopefully tomorrow is just as eventful as today was, but in the opposite direction. That'd be nice. Also, it does seem like my my engine is developing some overheating. So when I wake up in the morning, there's a couple things I have to do. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the morning. We have a decent list of things to get done this morning before we can even hit the road. So, I should probably get up. Everything's gonna be a-okay. Normally, I'm not a breakfast person, but I know that I'm about to drive through straight for a full 5 hours, and this particular place is really speaking to me at the moment. Honestly, starting the day off right now. My goodness. We are officially on the road, day 2 of Maine. I feel so much better in the daytime. I can see the woods. I can see if there's deer anywhere. So this should definitely go a lot smoother than yesterday did, for sure. I said a quick prayer over my car, probably something I should have done yesterday as well. I drove across many back roads and through many quaint little towns begging me to stop and look around, but I didn't have the time for them. But I did have time for something else. So I saw something as I was driving down the road, and decided to stop because it looked kind of peaceful. From the road, I could see a small dirt path that stretched into the forest. My curiosity got the best of me, especially because there's a good chance I'm never going to be here ever again. Yeah, I'm so glad I stopped. This is beautiful. Wow. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stop, but I'm glad I stopped because that just, got my spirits back up. I feel so much more energized and ready for the remainder of this drive. I do have a bunch of people waiting on me in Maine. Hopefully nothing else catches my eye like that, or else this might turn into a 3-day trip if I end up enjoying this state too much. I passed through many beautiful places after that, all of which begged me to explore. But in the back of my mind, I knew it would be at the cost of future time spent on the road. Ultimately, I was very much done driving, and the idea of parking at my final destination was all I could think about. Alright guys, we have finally made it to Maine. We have about an hour and 26 minutes left until we get to our destination, but we are in the state of Maine right now, and that is super exciting. The trip is done, and we're at our starting point for our trip to California. This has been a very interesting experience. I've been on a lot of different longer drives. I can't really say road trips, but I've been on longer drives, and a lot has happened in the past 2 days, and that normally isn't the case. I'm glad to be alive. Glad that the car is still running perfectly fine. She may need cooling every now and again. Bit of a thirsty girl, but it's all good. She's getting the job done. Let's go! Oh, I'm so hyped. Let's go! I got a burst of energy just at the thought of finally being done on the road, heavily due to my late nights and early mornings. If there was anything I learned after this experience, it was that my old sleeping habits would have to change to make this lifestyle work for 3 months. I am exhausted. They're boating right now, and I'm debating whether I want to be on that boat or not. I'm kind of just want to chill out. Just want to walk around and not be sitting. Alright guys, we made it to Maine. Made it to the lake. They're out boating at the moment, just waiting for them to come back and scoop me. In the meantime, I thought I'd relax and talk with you guys a little bit about the YouTube channel. So obviously I'm going to be doing a decent amount of traveling on the channel, but this channel isn't travel specific. My whole life I've been a talker. I love talking with people. I love learning from them. There's a lot of life-changing information that I learn talking with people that I might not be able to apply in my life, but somebody might be able to apply in theirs. I really just want to capture those moments and those conversations in a form such as YouTube that other people can look at, other people can watch, and hopefully gain some information from, whether they're going through something similar or whether they want to learn about a different perspective or opinion. The next video, so the second video that I post, I will be doing an interview, and I think after that video you guys will kind of have a better understanding of like the vision that I have for this channel and what I'm hoping it'll be able to accomplish. But for today, I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy my life because it's short. Almost dying does that to you. 9 hours and 450 miles. I can't say it was the longest I've driven, but it definitely was the most exciting. There were many twists and turns, but I can't say I'd prefer they didn't happen. I could say I'd love 9 hours of easy traveling, but it's the bad things that make a good trip a great story. This was just the beginning. 3,000 plus miles between me and San Diego. And with the signs my car had shown me today, my confidence in its ability to get me there is not where it once was. Would I even make it? I guess we'll find out. God bless.